a major trade route between Western China and Southeast Asia. It is the longest river in Southeast Asia. And also why it's important, because it's also the home of the world's biggest freshwater fish, which is the Mekong giant catfish. Is considered as an endangered species. And also this river is the world's most productive inland fishery. There are more than 60 million people rely on the Mekong for their livelihoods. And the Mekong rapid blasting, this one it has been more than, I think, 20 years already. That is very long project. Started from 2000, the year 2000, when China, Myanmar, Laos, and Thailand signed the agreement on commercial navigation on the Lansang and Mekong River. In China, they call Mekong as a Lansang. The project aims to remove rapids or the rock from the stretch of the Mekong River through dredging and blasting it, blow it away, allowing the 500-ton ships to navigate all year round between southern China in Yunnan to the Thai-Lao border and then to Luang Prabang in Laos. Under this plan, the Mekong would be canalized, make it just like a canal for commercial navigation. The project has since been implemented in stretch of the Mekong in China, Myanmar, Laos, and northern Thai border in Chiang Rai. This project raised huge concerns, especially among the Thai communities living along the river, like a Chiang Khong Conservation Group and their network, over the threats to the river ecosystem, fish habitats, the breeding grounds, local livelihoods, food safety, and also culture. For over 10 years, the project was suspended by previous Thai governments due to the concern over the environmental impact and issue of sovereignty and national security at the Thai-Lao border. Then in 2006, the Chinese project developer brought the project back to the table again. The Thai cabinet expressed its support for exploration and development of this project. Of course, the local communities again ran a series of campaigns against that. Which is the actions of the local communities with the support because of the importance of the Mekong itself. Local community with support from the international organizations, many of them like WWF and many more also come and help. Then in late 2017, China had decided to step back from its plan to blast the rapids, considering the impact to local communities along the river. In February 2020, Thai cabinet formally called for the cancellation of this project. This is the 20-year-long fight led by local communities who want to protect their livelihoods and biodiversity. It's not the end of the story yet, as the bigger threats to the Mekong and its people still exist. Those are as you might have heard, the Mekong mainstream dams, which hugely impact the livelihoods and biodiversity. The Sayaburi Dam in Laos is one of the examples. It's invested by Thai company and aim to produce electricity to sell to Thailand. And it's also served Lao vision to be the battery of Asia. Another issue is the wildlife trafficking, which is also require an effort of all ASEAN nations to work together. Sometimes you may heard the word like a wildlife crime is the same thing, because this issue goes beyond conservation, basic conservation issue, but this is a transnational organized crime. Wildlife crime is often overlooked and under prosecuted, but involves huge organized criminal network. A joint report by United Nations Environment Programme and Interpol, International Police, on the rise of environmental crime reveals that the illegal trade in wildlife is estimated to be worth up to $20 billion per year, while flora and fauna can be exploited by criminals along entire supply chain, from poaching and transportation to processing and selling. Other illegal activities are often associated with wildlife crime, including money laundering, corruption, and document fraud. Wildlife trafficking is the fourth largest illegal industry worldwide, just after drugs, arms, and human trafficking. It is seen as a low risk and high profit business. Asia is one of the biggest markets and demand for wildlife consumption. ASEAN or Asian countries are both source, transit, and destination country. This is depending on the species. The next slide, we're going to look at the Operation Thunderbolt, which is just only last year. This was implemented by Interpol. Just only June last year, Interpol and the World Customs Organization coordinated the Operation Thunderbolt with the police and custom administration, leading joint enforcement operations against wildlife and timber crime across 109 countries. The operation saw 1/2 ton of pangolin parts bound for Asia seized in Nigeria, and the arrest of 3 suspects in Uruguay attempting to smuggle more than 400 protected wildlife species. If you see the species of the wildlife that has been illegally traded, you see elephant, which is ivory. You see pangolins there, 1.3 tons. There are turtles, timber, plants, birds, marine species, and also the reptile. The next one is the map. Because of nowadays, it's so easy to travel. It's easy for us, and it's also easy for the criminals. The USAID route partnership reveals that the ivory and rhino horn primarily move between Africa and Asia, but often transited through hub airports in the Middle East and Europe as well. China, Thailand, and Vietnam are among the top 5 countries of ivory trafficking from Africa. Being a regional hub of transport, often the African ivory was seized at the Suvarnabhumi airport. Thailand, where it's been used as a transit country to other Asian cities and beyond, has worked with other ASEAN nations and international communities such as IUCN, USAID, UNODC, Interpol, and Traffic to strengthen the law enforcement, enhance policy, and reduce demand for wildlife. As long as the demand remains, the supply will not stop. But why people buy these products? What are the drivers? Based on USAID Wildlife Asia's situation analysis on wildlife consumption among the consumers in China, Thailand, and Vietnam, they found that in China, people use ivory for home decor, jewelry or accessory, and for gifting. In Vietnam, ivory is considered as valuable gift. It is also show high social status for both giver and receiver. The same agency, USAID Wildlife Asia, also conduct a consumer research in Thailand. They just dig deeper on wildlife consumption among the Thais. Results show that Thai people buy ivory products because it gives them a strong sense of luck, protection, and blessing. Among those who buy, they normally buy it mainly from the jewelry stores, amulet markets or temples, and through their relatives. the purchase rate seem high during special occasions, such as during the birthday, you give ivory as a gift to your loved ones, or New Year, both Thai New Year's and Chinese New Year's, and on the religious holiday. Among females, ivory accessories the beauty. Ivory rings are the most popular product among women. They also believe that the protective power that ivory may bring to the owner. Based on formative research that's showing that the demand for animal parts is driven by the affluent business owners and merchants. USAID Wildlife Asia has developed series of campaigns to tackle the issue. The first online campaign launched in 2017 in collaboration with WildAid, another international NGO, and the Department of National Parks, Wildlife and Plant Conservation, Thai government agency called I Am Ivory Free. Numbers of celebrities and social influencers were invited to join and delivering the I Am Ivory Free messages. The campaign earned more than 19 million impressions. This is on the internet. Over 400 engagements and more than 30 news stories published by the media. In line with Thailand, Vietnam, where the rhino horn consumption is high, especially among the business community and international organizations like Traffic, joining hands with Vietnamese business associations to reduce the demand for rhino horn. The same things, because this is so regional issues. In China, very big market, is even if China is not part of ASEAN, but is the biggest wildlife market there. The project through I4 runs a serious campaign to raise public awareness on its new wildlife protection law. Then you may heard that in 2017, Chinese government announced the ban on domestic ivory trade. And the ban came into force in the beginning of 2018. Then how to communicate ASEAN stories. I think you don't need to be a communication professional or work as a communication professional to tell the story about ASEAN. You can still tell stories in whatever sector you are in. Please remember that whether we like it or not, we are now part of this one vision, one identity, and one community. So in whatever you do in the country, broaden it up with regional lens. It's useful for us to learn more about our neighboring countries, our ASEAN communities. Now, we see the increasing movement of people here and there. We saw more Cambodian workers at the high-rise condo construction site in our neighborhoods in Bangkok. We see more of rich Myanmar people coming to Bangkok for hospital and treatments. We see more maids and English teachers coming from Philippines. Lots of room at the luxury apartments in Bangkok owned by Chinese, Singaporeans, or else. Please don't forget that what's going on upstream affects us living downstream. Always keep questioning on the development movements in ASEAN. When we connect the dots, we will see that it's all linked. It's the same story. It's ASEAN story. ASEAN Secretariat always promote ASEAN as the community of opportunity for all. Please ask yourself, are you ready? Are we ready and capable enough to grasp these opportunities? So, well, this is only a glimpse of what's going on in ASEAN. Remember 3 pillars of ASEAN, right? And these are more for us to learn. This Communication Arts for ASEAN program will walk you through them bit by bit during our 2 years together. Thank you very much for your time and attention. I may hand over the session to the chair of this program, Dr. Kamunrat, for discussion and Q&A session. Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dararat. Yep. Okay, great. Yeah. So welcome again, all the student and all the participant. Yes. So since this is the program of communication as for ASEAN, right? So we have to start up by sharing and knowing more each other. I mean, to know more in the kind of the scenario of ASEAN. So once we are talking about ASEAN, so it's many popping up idea coming up to our mind that what exactly about ASEAN, kind of that. So this is the reason why tonight we start up by raise up the issue of development issue in ASEAN. Ajahn Dararat has shared you about kind of uh, the natural resources. Natural resources. That's just the romantic river around the ASEAN region. That's is Mekong River. That's kind of. And then she also mentioned about kind of the trafficking, human trafficking, wildlife trafficking, and any kinds of, and still a lot kinds of disaster, kinds a lot about kind of, for example, now the pandemic or regional COVID-19 or kind of that. So it's all connected because we are in the same community, right? Same community. So before we move on, I would like to open the floor to you all that once you listen to the Ajahn Dalalat, our speaker tonight about the ASEAN issue, what's up? What is pop up in your idea? What's pop up in your idea about what exactly ASEAN and what is the learning issue in ASEAN? Because Chandalalan has shining you the scenario of the ASEAN kind of uh, master plan, the roadmap, or many kinds of that we can go further in details. That's it, and then some further development. So once you listen to her, what is the pop up idea from your side? You might have some issue to share, right? Yes. Okay. So for the sake, Mr. Vala, Kun Vala, you might have some idea, right? No voice? I think no voice.
Mm.
Okay.
Can you hearing me?
Yes, yes. Okay now.
Okay, I think that along river has many like as fishing, uh, traditional commercial. So if Mekong river can do more, so the country along the Mekong river just has like a MOU to sharing about the benefit and sharing how to implement the benefit like a fair benefit and about the illegal has a more illegal that in the situation at the Mekong River. So about the agency of the state along the Mekong just has discussion and uh, make and to that to be uh, stop the illegal activity.
Yeah.
I finished. Anyone?
Yeah, the voice not so good, but what I can pick up, is you are talking about kinds of collaboration, right? Collaboration among
Yes,
all the countries. Yes. Mm.
yes. And
Mm.
it has a benefit. So the country along the Mekong River have to discussion how to use benefit from Mekong River, like the fair solution or a rule to use the benefit,
Yeah.
like a
Okay.
illegal activity.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Ajahn Dararat, you will reflection something or open the
Um,
first?
maybe I just would like to add a little bit that in terms of the agreement, the Mekong riparian countries, the agreement is there, right? Collaboration agreement, cooperation agreement is there, but in terms of implemented to ensure that there is the mutual benefits is there for everyone, is not yet there yet. So it's I think it's still a long way to go in terms of like every country sitting and really sincerely talk among each other, because right now there are so many issues in terms of like each country still try they try want to do or to take what best that they can take, right? And to think about others, I think we still have to work harder in order to reach that stage. And especially like keeping local communities, small peoples into the plan, just keep them, never neglect or never forget them, and that's really important. Not just only like at the big companies or bigger investment or projects.
Yeah. I would like to, like Ajahn Dararat said, ASEAN is so important. ASEAN is very connected. It's kind of, we need to collaborate among the member countries. But let me ask you all that how often that you heard about your country talk about ASEAN in a month or in a year? How often that you heard our policy talking about ASEAN? Mr. Chat, how often that you heard our policy Prime Minister talk about ASEAN disaster, kind of that? How often?
A little bit.
Yeah, very few, right? Very
Yes.
few. Yeah, yeah. So meaning that we normally see the picture of people tap their hands together among the member country once a year, twice a year, and that's it. And then once I asked you about like Connie, you are a nurse, and then how often that you heard about ASEAN in your daily life in general? How often that the Thai government talk about ASEAN? How important of ASEAN? Very little, right? I asked Nilampai. Nilampai, your hometown is in Pisanulok. It's
Yes.
the Indogene intersection. It's the
Yes.
pathway from Vietnam to Thailand, Cambodia to Myanmar to Bangladesh to China, kind of that. How often that you heard your government or even your local government talking about ASEAN? How much that the Pisanulok people in the Indo-China intersection knowing about any issue about ASEAN? How often of that?
I think it Thai Pisanulok is not don't like about because
Being the central of ASEAN, right?
yes, it in the road cross to every country in the ASEAN, but the
Yeah.
people don't like. I don't interested in.
Yeah, but people are more aware, right? They got a question. They has a pop-up question. What is this kind of vehicle, this kind of truck coming in and coming out in my street? Is a different. Is like a car plate number from Laos, from Vietnam, from Malaysia, running around in the street or highway of Thailand. We really don't know what happening up. So meaning that the is very important. It's very critical. A lot of critical issue happening up in our ASEAN region because we are one community. But we need a communicator. We need a communicator to communicate this kind of. So this is the reason why in ASEAN we have a roadmap. We have the roadmap of communication roadmap, ICT roadmap, in telecom roadmap, kind of that. So the with the module of telecommunication, you will see how huge of the infrastructure that cover all kinds of ASEAN and Asia and other region nearby, kind of that. So this is the reason why our program is trying to raise up the awareness that ASEAN, we need to talk more. We need to communicate more, right, about the ASEAN. So Kunwala have shared some issue about the ASEAN, right? So Suchat, once we talk about ASEAN, what is your pop-up idea?
I think most people in the region believe and depend on superstition. So people kill animal for sale ivory, something like that. So we have to strengthen education, I think.
Education, okay.
This is if I may add, this is very challenging issue because to change people attitude and behavior, especially when we touch upon the belief which has been passed from generation to generations. It is not easy, but still, I think for those who are working in this field, they cannot give up. We still have to find way to tackle it. We in health sector, when we talk about behavioral change, to change behavior from don't, how can I say, stop smoking, right? We tell people not to do something, or to do something. But in wildlife trafficking or in the consumption of the illegal wildlife product, ivory or tiger fang, for example, we are touching upon the belief because it's the reason, one of the reasons why they are using it. And it is very hard. And often, sometimes, the Western countries may not understand why the belief goes so deep in the Thai or Asian society and culture.
Yes. This is the reason why in our program we really provide you a big module of intercultural communication, because even in among our member country of ASEAN, we have a lot of very variety, right? So besides from our member country, we also have to think a little bit wider in kind of Asia, like ASEAN plus Japan, ASEAN plus South Korea, ASEAN plus China, kind of that. So this is the reason why it's a culture and heritage, kind of that is kind of a big issue of ASEAN. So we are trying to raise up this kind of issue because this will make you aware about kinds of popping up your idea about, hey, what should I do about ASEAN? Kind of that. Because some people saying that, wow, ASEAN is the kitchen of the world. Let me do that. ASEAN is the kind of the heritage. Yeah, let me ask you, Sushat, how many heritage, kinds of heritage in Thailand? When we talk about UNESCO heritage in Thailand, right? We have many types of heritage, like environmental. In ASEAN, like Halong Bay, right? Is environmental heritage, right? How about our Sukhothai, or Ayutthaya, right? It's a world heritage, kind of that. This is very unique of ASEAN, right? Kind of that. So many of you might talk to yourself, hey, might be my mission to go further in my thesis about this. You might go deep in that kind of, that's how. Okay, that's how. Okay, Connie, are you there? Connie is very quiet here. Okay, okay. What's up? What's up that you would like to share more? Okay, so may I go further? Okay, may I ask you that, Sushat, have you finished? Have you finished watch up the video clip of module 1? You finished?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. Yeah. Module 1 is in the first subject is 01, 17701. Module 1, what is the clip about?
Module 1, what is the clip about? It is about background of the ASEAN. For example, ASEAN connectivity and community, something like that.
Okay. Okay, correct. Yeah, you are correct. Yeah. Kumala, you finished watching up the module 1, right? Yes. I think we didn't hear you. I think you changed your place. You still at your office or what?
No,
The signal is not so good. We didn't hear you. We didn't hear you.
hello, it's again.
Okay.
Anyone
So
hear me?
the signal is not so good, but it's now a little bit hear you. Have you finished the?
Okay.
You finished watching up the module 1?
Yes,
Okay. So what is it about? Okay.
about the history history about
Okay. Okay.
the
Great.
established member who the foundation of us
Yeah. Yeah. So the
and the first the original purpose of the ASEAN, original purpose that why the 5 member cooperation.
okay. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So that is the fundamental. Module 1 is a fundamental of the program. So this is just the only brief idea of the issue about ASEAN, right? But beside from this, a lot to go more about the ASEAN issue. So as in saying that what we call that, we have a lot of resources that is prepared for you in kinds of like we are providing kinds of resource about ICT master plan for the 2025 or the communication roadmap of ASEAN, telecom roadmap of ASEAN, this kind of. So I think that this kind of scenario you need to know more. Just only module one, okay? And then later on, once you know what exactly of ASEAN, who is ASEAN, what is ASEAN, what is the problem, what is the demand, what is the positioning, what is the plan of what's all about ASEAN. And then module 2,